sociologist of work and trying to be also an environmental activist, I kind of often stumble upon cases of industrial job blackmail. Are you familiar with the concept? So, in a nutshell, it is a discursive device, so both material and conceptual, according to which occupational health and safety standards necessarily lead to wiping out existing jobs and making future jobs basically impossible. So very briefly, it's a neither-or situation. Health and environmental protection on the one side, jobs and income on the other one, and apparently there is no third option. So those situations are generally very controversial, and they can be very tragic in some cases. So we started to think about, like, probably it's biased as a position. So in any case, it's not a natural necessity. So we found a political and a historical bias about this, and we started to look about other solutions, also because the idea is, since it's not a natural necessity, why is it so difficult to overcome this kind of discursive situation? And our idea is that probably it's because it is a deliberate strategy to prevent unionists or the working class to ally with environmentalists. This is why there are many overlappings between our research. And in my opinion, personally, this is why the title of my research project is Working Class Ecology. It actually actively obscures the ecological dimension of the working class as an agent, which is very interesting to me. So one possibility to overcome this job blackmail is the green economy. I won't go at length because Eric did that job for me much better than I could do, so thank you. The idea is turning the ecological crisis into a driver of further accumulation rather than an obstacle as it was seen in the 70s or something like that. The idea, what I want to add very quickly, is that for the green economy to work, all the actors must perceive themselves as market actors whose goal is to keep alive that same market. So there's no diversity, no distinction. All the expansion, multiplicity we were talking about collapses into just one market logic, with all the problems Eric was outlining, so which I share. So we looked for other possibilities, and given the fact that we are Italians, we looked to the Italian context, and in the 60s and the 70s, actually, not only the ecological crisis became a political issue because of its connections with metal workers' struggles in factories in the north, but actually the way the ecological crisis was politicized was exactly the opposite of the green economy, which meant that health and safety were meant to be impossible to monetize. There's no way you can pay for my health. So our research question is, how can we keep this historical data in order to think about labor beyond productivism? And since I know nothing about ecological economics, I'm here because I think it is important to know something about that, to work towards that. Thank you.
Okay, questions for Emanuele?
Yeah, really interesting questions. How would you see feminist economics or theories fitting into labor beyond productivism?
Oh, they are crucial and central. I'm not that ecological economics, and then I will have to go delve into feminist economics. From the time being, I'm looking at how class development has known an ecological moment and then has forgotten that, so to speak. So that my question is why that happened. In order to expand the working class ecology, we will need to go to feminist economics, because I think it is the original point of overlapping with this possibility of expansion. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else with a question? Okay, I think everybody's hungry, so let's give Emanuele a round of applause.